Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce a settlement has been arrived at between our union and Minecon Mining. If it is ratified, work could resume on Mars within 48 hours. Yes.
Mr. Atwater, there have been rumors circulating here today that this agreement really benefits the company more than it does the miners' union. That it is, in fact, a shotgun agreement.
The agreement is being reviewed right now by our rank and file. The indication is that it will pass unanimously. Those rumors are being spread by those who don't have the union or its members' interest to heart.
And what about the rumor that in 2 years' time, service androids will be replacing over 90% of the deep miners working on Mars?
That's absolutely untrue. There are people who, for their own selfish reasons, have fought against this agreement. I will not waste your time telling you who they are. You already know who they are. And I will not stand up here and lie to you and tell you there were no dissenting voices in our union. There is always dissension. No red-blooded union can exist without it. But the time for dissent is over. I feel this agreement will stand the test of time. So when our future members look back at this day, they will say it ushered in a new era of prosperity for this union. Now this is a good agreement. It will make for strong and vibrant.
Arrival at Minecon headquarters in 02 minutes.
Acknowledged. Minecon security has the shooter isolated in the building adjacent to the one in which Atwater was shot.
Atwater make it?
There is no word on his condition.
My officers will be covering the
door. We'll go inside.
I'm perfectly capable, detective.
Your people are paramilitary, man.
Which means keep them out of our way. Until we're done, we'll get along just fine.
This is Minecon property. Your call, but I'm along for the ride.
Fine. Have your people cover all the exits. We flush the shooter, make sure he doesn't get by them.
That won't be necessary. The whole building was locked down as soon as Atwater was shot. I have to use a code to open this.
Makes you wonder how the shooter got in.
I will cancel out our readings, leaving only one. It will take a moment to lock on. He's this way.
Do you know what kind of weapon he had?
A Gauss-Sack, close combat model. He's on the other side of these. Let's go.
Easy. You're behind me. You back me up. Keep your head down. Hey! Easy. Hey, just take it easy, all right, buddy? Put the gun down and no one has to get hurt.
Somebody already did get hurt. That's what you're doing here, isn't it?
Now listen to me, all right? I do not want to hurt you. Just put the gun down. Just ease the gun down, all right?
I don't think I can do that.
I do not want to hurt you. Okay? Look, I do not want to hurt you. Just do me a favor, just put the gun down. I don't want to hurt you.
I'm gonna do that myself.
Put the gun down!
No!
Mission accomplished. Ready for self-termination.
You're supposed to be backing me up.
Look, I was just doing my job.
You all right?
Yes, he's still alive, David.
Medic! You saw him, what'd you think?
Drugs, maybe, a junkie, but he was definitely under the influence of something.
Well, he certainly doesn't fit the profile of a professional assassin.
Lone gunman, psychopath, whatever he is, we've got him. I want to tell my superiors this case is closed. The sooner the situation with the miners is diffused, the better.
You don't agree?
Now you got this kid. How does this kid get past consortium level security? In and out through 2 shielded doors, all the while carrying a beam weapon that should have set off every field detector in the place. Huh? How does he do that?
I can't answer that, but I do know that
It
it was
indicates
set.
a sophisticated level of planning I don't normally associate with psychos or junkies or a crazed lone gunman, I'll tell you that much.
My assessment also.
A DNA check makes the kid Ray Dalton. He was a miner.
Union guy?
Got his full card 2 years ago. Father was a miner, died on Mars. Lives in Lower South with his sister. No other relatives.
I want to talk to the sister.
A unit's bringing her over to the station as we speak.
Good.
We have the shooter. You go rounding up half the city, and the resulting media circus will destroy the chance of selling Atwater's agreement to the miners.
Makes sense that while Atwater's alive, so is his agreement.
Meanwhile, it's very likely that the people that wanted Atwater dead and put the gun in Ray's hand are out there right now preparing to finish what Ray apparently could not.
Hume's right. We talked to the sister. Meantime, we've got limited manpower. For now, guarding the suspect will be a CPB responsibility. Morales, get a team over here. I'm moving Atwater to another floor. We'll meet up there and best decide how to deploy our 2 units.
You froze up on me back there. In the warehouse, what happened?
I wish I could explain it, David. At the start, it seemed like this Ray Dalton and I were communicating.
Communicating what?
I'm not sure. The link was broken when he tried to kill himself. But I experienced some kind of symbiosis with him. When he discharged his laser, it felt like it was burning me. I think I should stay here.
Take it outside! What are you gonna do? Kill us?
Atwater! You got Monicon guards protecting the one guy who can get us back to work, and we don't trust him any more than we trust you! What's Atwater know what trust? Son of a bitch stole him out!
John! Down! Everybody down!
Don't even think about it.
Things seem to have quieted down a little.
Dr. Levy, do these EEG readouts seem peculiar to you?
In what way?
He's showing abnormally high beta activity.
You know, they're flying in Felix Latham, one of the most prestigious neurosurgeons on the continent as we speak. This is really his area of expertise.
Would it be possible to run some tests before he arrives?
Hey, I'm only the chief resident. And if you know anything about egos among surgeons, I would hate to overstep my bounds.
The more information you have, the more likely you are to impress.
What were you thinking exactly?
A comparative EEG analysis, sign and systolic with a baseline.
You have some sort of background in forensics?
Actually, I have a rather extensive background in forensics.
I guess as long as the tests are non-invasive.
I'm convinced Dr. Latham will be impressed by your initiative.
What did you say you studied?
What'd you find out?
Ray is still unconscious, David. However, the amplitude variability and the frequency of his EEG wave pattern is high, indicating that
Plain English.
it is unlikely that the abnormal activity in Ray's brain is due to the injury he sustained.
Okay. But you still think this brain activity, this is what caused him to do what he did?
It's hard to say. I can tell you that quantitative and qualitative indications call for a normal brain activity between 4 and 20 hertz. Ray is spiking over 100, so anything is possible. One thing is certain, David. There is something in Ray's brain that should not be there. Something beyond residual swelling from a wound.
All right. Let me know if he wakes up or you find anything else about him.
His brain pressure seems to be within normal limits, given the natures of his cranial injuries.
I see from his chart he's had mannitol, but there's no record of a deep pain test.
Well, since he's not technically comatose. Your background forensics or brain surgery?
I'm not a doctor, but I'm very well read.
Oh.
His eyelids are fluttering. Are you familiar with ocular procedures?
I want to get an anti-seizure med into him, just as a precaution.
We may also wish to hook him up to a DSX 437. If there are seizures, it will help identify the locations.
I think I know where to find one.
Terry, I'm Detective David Hume. I know it's a difficult time for you, but I need to ask you a few questions about your brother, Ray. Can I get you something for this, some ice or something?
I'm fine. A couple of miners who didn't like what the news vids were saying about my brother paid me a visit. So, what about Ray, Detective? I mean, there must be some misunderstanding here. My brother would never kill anyone. There's no way my brother could do something like this.
Were you aware of any involvement Ray had with the dissident miners? Anything at all?
He wasn't involved in any group. He wasn't political, like our father. Our father was very well respected, and thank you. If a man like Atwater needed someone to rally the Union, my father was always the first one there. He was what we call, in the Brotherhood, a blue blood. He used to say, It got so cold in the deep mines that it needed to be blue.
I was looking over your file. I saw that your mom died when you were young. Ray must have only been about 10 or 11.
Dad wasn't around a whole lot, so I sort of became a surrogate mom to Ray.
Oh. It's a lot of responsibility.
Well, miners do what they have to look after their own detective. It's bread and the bone stick together.
Look, I know you said Ray wasn't political, but was he unhappy with the settlement in any way?
No. He'd been out of work since the strike, and he had to come home, and at least the settlement would have given him a chance to earn a paycheck again, right? He was proud to be a miner. Just like our father. Just like Atwater. A good union man.
So you don't think Atwater was selling the union out? What about Ray?
Like I said, Ray just wasn't...
Political, yeah, you said that. I gotta tell you, Terry, I think someone put Ray up to this. I think maybe you know who, or at least why.
No.
No?
No, there's like a lot of people out there who don't like Atwater.
You just thought of someone. An image, I saw it in your eyes.
You don't,
Just give me the name, Terry. Come on, Terry, give me
You
the
don't
name.
understand, do you?
Just give me the name.
You don't understand something. If I talk anything...
I can guarantee you protection.
You know, I am not afraid for myself here, and I sure as hell don't give a damn about helping you.
You have my word.
If you want to protect somebody, protect my little brother. Protect my little brother.
You want me to help Ray? You have my word.
Larry Becker. Larry Becker tried to recruit Ray against Atwater.
That's good, Terry. That's good, that'll help. How long ago did Ray see this guy?
I don't know, maybe 3-4 weeks ago.
Uh-huh. Do you know where I can find this Larry Becker?
But I'll tell you something. My little brother is not a killer.
Okay. You're good, Terry. Hey, next time those miners pay you a visit, I want the names. She gave me a name. Larry Becker.
You think she's involved?
No. And if her information stands up, I want her left out of it.
This doesn't look good.
What's the matter?
You see these little spikes? He's showing signs of brain agitation. This man could seizure out at any time.
Hey, what's going on here?
We're gonna prep him for immediate surgery.
On whose orders?
On my orders. Now, if you'll kindly step aside so we can move the patient.
As far as my orders go, the patient stays right where he is.
Fine, then we'll simply begin prepping him here.
No one touches him until I get authorization. Got it?
Morales, what exactly is the problem?
Orders are the patient does not leave this room until I get the okay from headquarters.
We have received no such orders.
I believe that life-threatening medical emergencies supersede CPB's quibbles over jurisdiction.
Dr. Latham?
If you know who I am, why are you wasting my time? We need to get this patient into the OR.
Before you proceed, were you aware of the peculiarities in his EEG readout?
Exactly what is your area of expertise? I'm not here to do a comparative analysis of brainwave patterns. I'm here to treat this patient, who's obviously suffering from acute head trauma.
I believe there's more to it than that.
If you're suggesting a tumor, there's no indication of that on the MRI.
No, I'm suggesting something smaller, almost hidden. An artificial implantation.
Just exactly who are you?
I'm an investigator with the CPB.
Perfect. I suggest you start med school before offering me diagnostic advice.
Doctor, the pressure on his brain is increasing. The fluid's building.
We don't have much time to waste. That's the pressure under control. Now let's see what's causing it.
There's an old scar there.
Yes, I see it. I wish you'd stay out of my way, Detective.
He's obviously had some type of brain surgery before.
I'll use it as my point of entry. Ray, you're in an operating room. You've suffered some severe brain damage that has to be treated surgically. There's no need to worry. You feel little or no sensation.
Mission accomplished. Ready for self-termination. Mission accomplished. Ready for self-termination.
Alpha android. I'm going to irrigate his wound, nurse.
Mission accomplished. Ready for self-termination.
Increase his meds.
Ready for self-termination. Mission accomplished. Ready for self-termination. Mission accomplished. Ready for self-termination.
Dementia is not uncommon with an injury like this.
Injury is not the cause of this behavior.
I'm finding some scar tissue here. I want to remove it. Nurse?
Mission accomplished. Ready for self-termination.
I do believe this is what is referred to as an implant, though it looks much different from the archaic implants that were once used by Recall.
You are familiar with Recall implants?
I was one of a select group of neurosurgeons hired to take out the Recall implants when that particular process became obsolete.
So you worked with Recall?
Only briefly. But I've never seen anything quite like this before. It resembles living tissue. And it was placed exactly in the brain's storehouse of memory above the medulla and just behind the prefrontal lobe. We should go down to pathology.
We'll save you the trouble and have our forensics lab analyze it.
Got some bleeding. Let's cauterize and I'm going to close. Thank you for your insight, Detective. Cauterizing nicely. Avatine, please. going to stop the final flow of blood by placing this microfibrillar collagen over the vascular architecture. Easy does it.
Los marcianos nunca atacaron la Tierra.
David, I'm in possession of an implant that Dr. Latham removed from Ray's brain.
An implant recall?
No. Latham said he had never seen anything like it before.
How's the kid?
Stable.
Thanks. Out.
Favre, Hume has a lead on a dissident miner who might have set the kid up.
The implant that Dr. Latham removed from Ray's brain may shed some light on how that was achieved.
I don't follow.
It is possible that Ray's behavior was motivated by some outside force.
Mind control?
Exactly.
That's a capital crime. Who would risk that? Another consortium company.
Possibly. Although it is unlikely that any of them has access to this technology. Latham was familiar with implant technology from his research, and he was unable to identify it.
Latham works for Recall.
Worked for a brief period several years ago. A background check confirms that he is currently unaffiliated.
If this is some kind of family squabble among consortium companies, I need to know as soon as possible.
Acknowledged. Olan and I are working on the implant now to determine its exact nature and origin.
Los marcianos nunca atacaron la Tierra. Eran felices.
Becker? And you are?
Hume, CPB.
Citizens Protection Bureau. What a fine job you're doing.
Must be talking about your buddy Atwater.
Warren Atwater's no friend of mine. If you'd been working those cramped, dust-ridden Martian mines for 20 years, you'd know something about why he was shot.
Well, looks like I came to the right place. You obviously know more about it than I do. Maybe you could enlighten me.
Lousy bastard was selling us out. Take a look at the contract. In 10 years, there won't be a human miner left on Mars. All the work that generations of humans have done is going to be handled by mindless androids who don't irritate people by renegotiating contracts. Why don't you go hassle some of those corporate types you guys are so chummy with? We don't need your protection.
I wasn't talking about you, Larry. I was talking about Ray Dalton.
He's a good kid. What he did, there's 50 others should have.
Interesting. You know, speaking of Ray, we found something in his head that proved he didn't knowingly pull the trigger. That means if Atwater dies, there's a murder rap waiting for whoever put it there. Wait, now I think that's you, Larry. Good nuts.
バーを楽しもう。味も豊富で、もちろんカロリーなし。
This is extraordinary. Living brain tissue with connecting axons. Neurons and dendrons exchanging signals of thought. Completely manufactured.
Yes. The perfect melding of human tissue and microprocessors.
This is what caused someone to shoot Lorne Atwater?
I believe so.
Well, it's certainly nothing that Recall ever used. I know they've been testing all kinds of advanced graphite with tissue-based chips, but this is way beyond that. It's actually alive. Ian, are you all right?
You're right, old man. It is alive. Like me.
What are you saying?
There was a strange connection between Ray and me. When he shot himself, it was almost as if I was the one being shot.
A non-local sympathetic connection.
I believe the connection was between this implant and my neural processing unit. Olan, whoever made this technology, may have created me.
Ow! There you go again with the I don't knows. I don't. Oh. Becoming a real bad habit with you, Cliff. So why don't you try telling me something different before I lose my patience?
I swear to God, you son of a... I don't know.
You don't know what to say. Start with that. Unless you want to keep going. Because I could do this all night. Come on, Cliff!
Okay, what are you offering?
Did you order the hit on Atwater?
Come on! Yes.
How did he get to Ray?
Come on, Cliff, how did he get to Ray? When he was just a kid. Larry's in business with some doctor.
Doctor, I need names, Cliff. Come on,
I don't know his name. No names. Now, Larry knows people are all talking about him like minors, okay? And he's paranoid that someone gave him up to you. After he does Atwater, he's gonna make an example to show the others not to break ranks. Who? Ray? Ray? Terry. His sister.
Hey, I've been working on the other guy who attacked you. Longtime card holder, real tough guy. The thing is, once I started breaking him down, the guy went pretty easy. He offered up that Becker is lying about androids replacing humans to kill Atwater's agreement. Something else. The guy doesn't trust Becker to save his life. He's afraid of him. Inez testified that if Becker can't control the Union, the killing won't stop with Atwater.
Get names, get a statement.
No problem. This guy's dying to talk. The lieutenant's calling in judicial.
Good. In the meantime, do me a favor, start the process on my guy.
Okay, I'm on it.
Good work, Morales.
Becker's not at the bar. There's no word at his sister's apartment.
I'm on my way there.
I've already sealed off Atwater's floor. Anybody tries to hit him, there'll be an army waiting.
What's the matter with you?
I've discovered a link between my neural cortex and the implant taken from Ray.
Becker's in business with a doctor. I'm thinking it's Latham.
The only logical choice.
Find him.
It may be too late.
Hey.
Where's Morales? I think there's something wrong.
Missed him. He's not in his room, and we have 2 men down.
Damn. Is everyone else in position?
How did you know he'd be on the move?
One of my detectives made a breakthrough.
Sorry, Ray.
Barb, you all right? How did you know? Let's hope the kid's all right.
What have some rats, Terry? Rats go down holes. And some of them stay down there. Becker! Shut rats, buddy.
Sorry. You all right?
Yeah.
It's over. It's over. What are the doctors saying?
No way to know if he's gonna make it. A lot of people saying prayers right now.
Well, Monicon is going to press forward to get his agreement ratified. With Becker out of the way, it may happen.
Got some good news, got some bad news.
You can give the bad news to Favre.
We have a lead on Latham.
You want to elaborate on that?
It ends at the Mars 1 jump port, meaning he's on his way to Mars or hiding out in the jumps. I'm sending a squad over there right now to run it down.
Lieutenant, let us handle it. It's personal.
Okay.
You want to tell me what that was all about?
I realized Dr. Latham must have put a second implant in Ray. I believe tests will show that's what caused Ray to make the second attempt on Atwater.
So you've been thinking about this connection you have with the kid?
Yes, David. The technology in Ray's implant is the same technology that created me.